Golden Sun's a weird one for me. Back when it released on Wii U Virtual Console, I played it, liked it a lot, and then I never touched it again. The second game's out on Wii U now, but I didn't remember most of the first game, so I've really gotta go back and play the first game again. I don't know why I forgot everything about this game. I clearly liked it enough to be interested in the sequel, but it didn't stick with me initially, I guess. Besides, my first save file wasn't the best, transferred to the Lost Age, and I was an idiot and saved right for the final boss, so that's excuse enough for me. Time to replay this great game. Golden Sun starts off with Isaac being woken up by his mom about impending boulder doom. Oh, I'm sure it's not that bad. Oh god, boulders are falling from the sky, this is bad. Isaac's mom tells him to go to the plaza where it's safe so they cannot be crushed by giant boulders. Oh, a boulder's blocking the way. Great. Isaac shortly meets up with his friend Garrett, and Jesus, that's a big boulder. Let's not go that way. Boulders keep blocking the easiest path to the plaza, probably for plot convenience. Oh no, some kid named Felix is falling into the river. That's bad. We should probably do something about that. It becomes very hard for him to get out of the river because everyone's out of what's called psi energy. Synergy? Synergy? How do you even pronounce that? Anyways, a psychic energy that people called depths can use. I'll get more into this later. Felix isn't even that far away from land. Can't they just jump down from the nearby hill and rescue him? I mean, come on, it's like a 5-foot drop. Anyway, Isaac, Garrett, and Felix's sister Jenna go looking for people who haven't used up all their synergy, and luckily, this one guy has enough to save Felix. Hooray. Not hooray. Boulder's coming this way. The boulder falls and kills Isaac's dad, along with Jenna's entire family. Right in front of both of them. What's this game rated? E? If E stands for emotional, then that's pretty spot on. Seriously, it's a good thing it's raining right now so no one can tell I'm crying. Golden Sun gets dark real quick. On top of all of this, Isaac and Garrett go to find help and get one-shotted by the game's villains. These poor kids. 3 years later, the town's back to normal. Mostly. I mean, come on, Jenna's an orphan now. This poor girl's family all died right in front of her. My family's never coming back. Oh my god. I cannot get over what just happened, and the game's not letting me forget about it. I'm sorry, but I just can't help but imagine some kid getting this for his birthday, and is greeted by this scene 10 minutes later. Ever since that day, Isaac and Garrett have devoted themselves to becoming adepts so that they can protect everyone they love, and understandably so. I mean, Jesus. Garrett and Jenna join the party, and let's just take a moment to look at these class names. Isaac, the Squire. Garrett, the Guard. Jenna, the Flame User? Someone didn't come into work that day. Like, of all the words you could use, Pyro, Fire Mage, Flamer, they chose Flame User. It's like if I called myself the Fire Killing Person. Isaac and Co go back to see their Synergy teacher Creighton when, hey, it's the villains again. They seem to want to use Creighton for something. I'm not trying to tell you how to do your jobs, but maybe you shouldn't plot his kidnapping right in front of his house. So, these villains are named Satoru and Minority, huh? They're not revealed to be the antagonists yet, but just look at these people. Villains. Or just really angsty anti-heroes. The party visits Creighton, and he's suspicious of Satoru and Minority, especially since they seem to know more about the elemental stores than he does. More on those in a bit. So everyone heads to Soul Sanctum on the north side of town to confirm Creighton's suspicions. After heading to the Horde of Soul Sanctum and confirming the obvious, Satoru and Minority are trying to steal the elemental stores. Instead of leaving and telling everyone decides to go further into Soul Sanctum. What could go wrong? After a few puzzles, the door to the actual Horde of Soul Sanctum opens. In it, they find the ocean. These people don't even know what the ocean is. The Horde of Soul Sanctum contains the elemental stores, which is the foundation of the 4 elements of alchemy, which is pretty much another way of saying synergy. Those elements being earth, water, fire, and wind. Wait, what's this about a wisdom stone? It transmutes anything into gold and thwarts death? The study of alchemy even started when searching for this thing. It sounds a lot like a philosopher's stone, and not the one from Harry Potter. The actual alchemy one that no one ever made. Not Golden Sun's alchemy, but the actual alchemy that became chemistry. You know what, whatever. They couldn't say philosopher's stone, but they can kill Jenna's entire family? The priorities at Camelot. This wisdom stone's never mentioned again, by the way. Anyway, the elemental stores are so powerful that just having one of these bad boys will let you conquer the world. Hey kid, put him in this bag. After getting 3 of the stores, Satoru and Minority have taken Jenna and Creighton hostage. This is what we get for leaving the door open. A masked man comes into the heart of the sanctum, saying that no one will be harmed due to his agreement with the villains. Isaac and Garrett have to hand over the elemental stores, or else they'll probably kill everyone. Great, we walked right into their trap. Isaac tells them no anyway, at least I did, and Creighton tells them that there's no guarantee that the villains will keep their end of the bargain. Well, they won't harm them because Felix won't let them. Yeah, Felix. Jenna's brother who died in the river. Turns out he's not dead. In fact, Satoru and Minority were the ones who saved him. Jenna is understandably pissed about Felix not trying to come back after all this time, but these people aren't exactly the ones you want to mess with. If they were able to one-shot Isaac and Garrett back then, they probably could have done the same to Felix. You probably had no choice but to stick with them. Isaac and Garrett get the last soul, and it causes Soul Sanctum to collapse. The villains escape with Jenna and Crane, while Isaac and Garrett have no way of escape. Isaac and Garrett luckily still have the Mode Store. The Guardian of the Soul Sanctum explains that since the elemental stores are gone, the threat of alchemy will be exposed to the world. Pretty much can be used for good and evil. This evil power will be unleashed upon the world if the stores are used to light the 4 elemental lighthouses. The Guardian teleports the 2 out of the heart of Soul Sanctum, and time to run! It's decided that it's up to Isaac, Garrett, and soon Ivan and Mia to prevent the 4 lighthouses from being lit. Either that or the world will probably explode. Alternatively, you can just say no and the game ends right there. You don't get credits, but the world drifts towards its destruction. Fun. Golden Sun's story is overall pretty standard fare. This is pretty much the extent of it. Characters don't really develop much either, but to be fair, this is only half the story being told here. Golden Sun was originally intended to be one game, but halfway through development, Camelot ran out of culture space. So the first game ends at the second lighthouse. Isn't Golden Sun the Lost Age where the story sees its conclusion? You can even transfer over your game save to the second game, which I'll get into later. All of this isn't to say it has a bad story. The story being told here is still pretty entertaining, it's just a pretty standard one. The lore, on the other hand, is pretty cool. Adepts have the ability to use synergy, which is like some weird mind magic. Each adept is one of the 4 elements being, again, earth, water, wind, or fire. Each element is even represented by one of the planets in the solar system. It's like some weird mix between Avatar and Earthbound. Speaking of Avatar, I noticed that you get party members in the same order the Avatar learns elements. You know.
Earth, fire, air, water.
I doubt that The Last Airbender took some inspiration from this game, but it's just something I noticed. Besides, Avatar came out a few years after Golden Sun, so anything's possible. Wait, whoa. Golden Sun came out 6 months after the GBA's launch? With this being one of the best looking games on the system, I assumed it came out near the end of its life. Camelot learned how to use this thing real quick. The music's surprisingly good too. Nothing amazing here, but it still sounds pretty great. But I gotta say, the planets they picked to represent the 4 elements are terrible. Earth is represented by Venus, fire by Mars, wind by Jupiter, and water by Mercury. Venus is a planet surrounded by a thick veil of sulfuric gas, making a dense and hot desert. Okay, it's similar size to Earth, and desertness makes it a decent candidate for representing Earth. But the fact that it's the hottest planet in the solar system just screams fire to me. Fire is represented by Mars. Nothing screams fire like a cold-ass desert. Sure, it's red, which is good for fire, but that's about it. I have no idea why Venus and Mars aren't switched. It would make so much more sense if fire was Venus and Mars was Earth. Mercury represents water, the closest planet to the sun where liquid water would be instantly vaporized. Sure, Isis is expected to be buried underneath the planet's surface, but it's not like it wouldn't melt if you brought it up to the surface. If we were using periodic table elements to represent these elements, then Mercury would actually be a pretty good choice, since it's a liquid at room temperature. But we're talking about planets here, so this doesn't make any sense. Neptune is named after the Roman god of the sea. The choice for water was obvious. Jupiter, however, is actually a pretty fitting pick for wind. Jupiter is not only made of various gases, but it also has a giant never-ending windstorm on it. Good job, Camelot. 1 out of 4 ain't bad. Golden Sun's gameplay looks like your typical RPG on the surface, but it's got a lot of unique to stand out. For example, your synergy can be used outside of battle to solve puzzles. Synergy also takes the full magic attacks that use up your PP. PP? What is this, Pokemon? But the Jin system is where Golden Sun really shines. Hidden throughout the world are these little things called Jin. After collecting them, they make you stronger. But the really cool part is that you can equip them like armor, and you can equip them to any character. Doing so alters their stats and synergy attacks. Jin give you a ton of different combinations for your party makeup, making Golden Sun extremely customizable. Want to make Garrett, typically the heavy hitter, into a pseudo healer? Boom, go right ahead. Want to turn Isaac into a mage? That's there too. No matter what, your stats even change to accommodate whatever setup you equip Jin give each character. Some field abilities can only be gained by mixing around Jin, which really encourages you to experiment. There isn't any consequence for changing Jin, so experiment away. The whole system of changing the stats of your party members is really fun and interesting. It's so much fun just to experiment and try out different combinations. When I really got bored of one setup, I usually just switch everything around to a new one. It's a bit cumbersome swapping around Jin at first, but it's barely an issue once you learn the menu. Jin also act as special attacks. A lot of them are strong attacks with some special attributes. Some are stat buffs and heals, but some are goddamn overpowered. Like giving the user 2 turns next turn, and another that negates most damage dealt to the party the turn is used. Using a Jin in battle unequips it and takes away all the abilities and stats it gave. But don't fret, because unequipping Jin add up to your summon counter. Summons are super powerful attacks that also increase your elemental power when used. These things get ridiculous too, like summoning a probably world-ending meteor and a giant death ray. After you use your summon, your Jin will slowly re-equip themselves after going through a cooldown period. Summons go up to level 4 and you can get the best summons pretty early on. By the end of the game though, you pretty much just spam gym attacks and summons on bosses because they're so good. You can even unequip them outside of battle and have the summon gauge already filled up when the battle starts. Not to say summons are overpowered, because the stat buffs Jin give you by the end of the game are really good. It gives the game this really nice risk-reward system. Better stats or stupidly powerful attacks. Take your pick. The progression in this game is pretty smooth too. You level up at a pretty decent pace, Jin are collected at an evenly distributed pace, and you never have to grind except for the super boss. Golden Sun isn't very hard either. I didn't remember most of the game, I still didn't get a single game over. The super boss didn't even give me much trouble. I pretty much just spammed summons until I won. It was a challenging fight, but I still won first try. The story progression feels weird though. You end up at the first lighthouse and get all 4 party members pretty quickly. Then pretty much the whole game happens, you're finally halfway through your quest, and the game's over. Buy the next game, guys. I know they ran out of culture space and had to split into 2 games, but it still leaves an empty feeling when there's a to be continued screen. What's really dumb about it after the final boss is that you can actually save. On my first playthrough a few years back, I saved after the final boss, and at that point, the game doesn't let you do anything else. Can't find those last Jin, can't fight the super boss, nothing. Back then, I assumed I was halfway through the game because I only got to the second lighthouse. Nope, here's the credits. The game's a pretty nice length at around 20 hours if you do everything. This is a full game here, it's just that the story isn't resolved yet. After you beat the game, you can save your clear data to a save file. Then in the main menu, press left on the D-pad and all at the same time, then press start. There's some like the send menu where you can transfer your save data to the lost stage. You can either transfer it with a link cable, or you can use passwords. If you're playing on Game Boy Advance, just use the link cable if you can. If you want to transfer over everything, you have to type in a whopping 260 character password. If you're the average person that doesn't want to input an obscenely long password, there's 3 tiers for passwords. Bronze transfers over your levels, collected Jin, and completed side quests. Silver transfers everything from Bronze, plus the exact stats of your characters. Gold transfers all silver, plus all your money and inventory. The password system is really annoying if you want to transfer everything, but hey, at least they were considerate to players who only have one system. It worked out in the long run, because this means that if you bought the game on Wii U, you can still transfer your save data. Golden Sun doesn't have many flaws either. The only real flaw is the lack of a fast travel system. It's not as bad as it sounds, but it gets really annoying by the end of the game. If I have to cross that damn Zahulan Desert for the 5th or 6th time, I may have to hurt someone. There's also this one Jin that's really cryptic to find. Talk to Babai after going through Colosso and he'll give you this cloak ball beside his bed. Then you go all the way back to Lumpa, which is right down to the other side of the world. Ugh. Go through this semi-stealth section using Cloak and you finally get to rescue Ivan's dad from jail. After beating the boss and getting Hammett to safety, go through this place again, talk to Dunpa again, then you get the Jin. I really couldn't have found this without a guide. It's weird because this is the only cryptic Jin in the game. All the other ones are fairly easy to find as long as you explore everywhere, and honestly you've done damn good when these are the only real flaws. Golden Sun is an amazing RPG the fans of the genre need to play. Despite selling over 1 million copies, Golden Sun is a surprisingly obscure game. Not in the sense that you can't find it, since it's about $18 at GameStop or $8 in the Wii U eShop. I can't think of many people who actually played this game, which is a damn shame. You really owe it to yourself to give this one a shot. The story may have some loose ends, but this is only the first half being told here. I'm really gonna have to play The Lost Age soon, because I want more of this game. It's one of the best games on the Game Boy Advance, which is already filled with amazing games. This has been the Fire Killing Person. Wait. This has been that Flame Assassin guy, and tune in next time for Kirby's Dream Land 1 and 2. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next mission.